All right, we teased that this might happen, and it's happening. Beto O'Rourke, former Democratic presidential candidate, is running for governor in Texas against Republican incumbent Greg Abbott. I think, number one, this is great. This is exciting. It would be fantastic to remove Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott's approval ratings have been sinking and sinking and sinking in the context of his total humiliating, farcical mishandling of COVID. But can Beto O'Rourke actually win in Texas, particularly given some of the things he said about guns in the past? I hope the answer is yes, but I don't know. Beto O'Rourke held a gubernatorial campaign kickoff in Dallas, announced his candidacy Monday. 3 Republicans are also running for the office. Now, the rally speech that he gave was good. You know, he's a good speaker. All considering, he's excites people to some degree. Let's listen to a little bit of it.
Greg Abbott chose not to expand Medicaid, would not take yes for an answer from the federal government when they offered to pay 95 cents on the dollar for expanded health care in Texas. We are the least insured state in the country by a Texas mile. There are more who cannot see a doctor or fill a prescription or take their child to a therapist than in any other state in the union. In this community, we still see people dying of diabetes 100 years after insulin was developed, which costs pennies to distribute. Still, some people in Dallas cannot afford to buy it and are dying of it. The common flu, curable cancers, these things are taking our moms, our dads, our grandparents.
So these are great talking points, but are they the right talking points for Texas? I don't know the answer. As 538 has written about, Texas voters have soured on Greg Abbott, but that doesn't mean they'll vote for Beto O'Rourke. Abbott is not as popular as he once was. His disapproval has now climbed close to 50. His approval is below 45. But the question that 538 asks is, what about voters in looking at Abbott versus Beto O'Rourke? And it looks okay for Beto O'Rourke, but he has similar dislike numbers to Greg Abbott, and he's only now starting to run for something. He's not the incumbent governor. That's potentially a red flag. The point in favor of Greg Abbott, quite frankly, is this horrible abortion law that's been passed in Texas. I'm sorry, the point in favor of Beto O'Rourke against Greg Abbott is the abortion law that's been passed in Texas, which we've discussed. That's certainly something that could mobilize voters. But I have real concerns because I imagine that this clip is going to be played on repeat. This was when Beto O'Rourke, during one of the Democratic presidential debates, was asked about firearms. And this is, my advice is always just don't even talk about firearms in campaigns, because it really just mobilizes Republicans to vote against you. But remember this.
Are you proposing taking away their guns, and how would this work?
I am, if it's a weapon that was designed to kill people on a battlefield.
Right. So that did well with a Democratic crowd. But as I've said before, that can really crush you in Texas. So I'm excited about this. It would be amazing to remove an incumbent Republican governor in Texas and replace him with a Democratic challenger. We're going to be following this race. We're going to be talking about it a lot, helping and hoping to inspire people to get mobilized there. I just don't know if Beto O'Rourke is actually the right candidate, and I'm not the only one who has this concern. So we are going to continue following that very closely. The only subscription streaming service dedicated to documentaries is CuriosityStream, and they're one of our sponsors. I know, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, they have some good documentaries, but CuriosityStream is where you find the best selection, hands down. CuriosityStream has the newest, most critically acclaimed titles you can watch on any device. I've been using CuriosityStream for about a year now. It is my go-to. I just finished watching Autonomy, about the future of automation. There are documentaries on CuriosityStream about politics, economics, science, technology, history, travel. CuriosityStream is perfect for learning about just about any new topic. Also great for unwinding, mentally escaping, like with a nature documentary. And CuriosityStream is giving my audience 25% off a subscription, which comes out to $15 a year, not a month, a year. go to curiositystream.com/Pacman. The link is down below.